Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, happy Saturday, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for being here at USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. In case you haven't heard, we celebrate elevated listening. Our show today is presenting pet psychic Aminah, and we are going to be talking about how to train any dog on the basics. And pet psychic Aminah has so much education and experience in so many areas. I just found out something about her backstage, which we'll have her share. But she definitely is an expert when it comes to this topic. Let's welcome her to the program. Hello.
Hello. Happy Friday. Yay.
Happy Friday. And to our friends in New Zealand, I think Australia, happy Saturday.
Absolutely. And if you haven't gotten up yet and you're in Asia or something, I actually have family in where are they? Brazil? She just keep no, what's the other one that's Italy? Barcelona. I'll get the right B.
Well, I think they're 5 hours ahead of us, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah, I just try to call and say, what time should I call? Let me know.
Exactly. Yeah. On this platform, we have people from all over the world. So I've gotten pretty good with the time zones because I have to know who's in what time zone for when we're going to do a show. Wow. But I just want to do a quick digression. We're going to talk about training dogs on the basics, but you just shared something backstage. I didn't know. You and I have been together for, I don't know how many episodes. Is it 90? We're coming to 100 soon, right?
Yep. But we're so busy loving our audience and really making sure that we give that free advice, which is the whole platform. So I really appreciate that. We don't get into too much of the personal stuff, which it is personal. And I do tell my stories of failure and success because I don't know about everybody else. I learn more. I don't do it twice.
Right.
I don't need to be kicked by a horse and go, how'd that happen?
So would you be open to sharing about this other chapter of your life?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
When you have children, amazing what you will teach yourself. And what I did is they were grown, but I went away for a while and went to a school to learn to be a cosmetologist. So of course, facials and pedicures and all of that wonderful stuff. But what my family loved was now everybody could get a free haircut and style. So, and I have one daughter who got my mother's semi-curly hair. And if you are blessed with any kind of curl or direction, mine has straight down. That's its direction. It's very thin and it's always been that way. So if you have curl, getting the right hairstylist is crucial because my hair, you cut it and it's here. That's how it works. With somebody with curly hair, and this is the same thing if you pick a groomer for your dog and the hair has a cowlick or a curve or something like that, and they cut it wrong, wow, you get to enjoy that for the next 4 to 6 weeks while it grows out for the first inch, because it's truly a craft. Hairstyling, makeup, doing a show like this, it's studying, it's time. If you want to be good at something, practice. And after and during getting my license, because we do a lot of practice. And Dr. Jacalyn, I'll tell you my most heartwarming story is while I was getting ready to graduate from cosmetology school, we of course were doing people's hair that would come from the public. And social services brought a woman who couldn't have been, now I would have been in my 20s and I'm not in my 20s now. I'm about twice that. So they brought a woman who was probably maybe getting to be 60, but I don't know that she was much out of her 50s, but her spouse had died and she had just locked herself pretty much in the house, and her hair had grown over and in and on, and it was just one bundle. Now she was Caucasian, and you literally, we would maybe sarcastically say a rat's nest, but that's the shape of her hair. She did have a little curl, so it curled in on itself. She was in dire condition, emotionally, physically, everything. And I was honored to be chosen by the instructor of our school to restore her back to some kind of normalcy, and starting with cutting all her hair off, literally to the scalp. But I have to tell you, that is a skill. And I carry that over to grooming dogs and grooming cats. We have long-haired cats, so we have to deal with that. But having that compassion to say, I see you, the person. I don't see the condition. I don't see your acne. Of course, I'm not blind. What I'm saying is, in my heart and the way I treat you, I hope I'm better than that. And I'm hoping that was what my instructor saw in me. I hadn't graduated yet. I was still in cosmetology school, and I felt blessed because I had to take a pair of scissors. I couldn't use clippers. It was matted up here, and I had to cut it at her scalp. And she couldn't have been more than 40 years old. And when we finished and I washed her hair, what I could save, she took a deep breath, literally, and started life again. And you can do that with your animals, and you can do that with your life. And somebody hopefully is going to hear this for the first time, maybe, and say, we've got your back. We, as caring people, we are out here, and we're here to listen. And that's a lot of what you'll find on Dr. JACALYN'S show, not to just pump the show, but if you really look at the different guests that come here, we all have heart work to do. And this is the place we share it.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And, you know, I love what you said, and then we're going to go right into the dog training, but it's almost like that our team, we need this platform to share because we're so intent on helping other people.
Yeah, because we're going to explode otherwise.
Right. Exactly. So for all of our audience members out there, they're like, okay, we're ready to find out, how do we train any dog on the basics? First of all, what do you need to know in order to train a dog?
Compassion. I want to make it really, really simple. Because if you make it complicated, oh, you first have to know how to stand, talk, blah, 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 blah. Yes, there's a lot into training. I do not discount the professionals at all. We are absolutely there for you. But what about the person who hasn't the means, the money, or the time, and yet they have picked up a stray off the street, or they got a puppy for the first time because somebody thought it was a good idea to adopt it and then dumped it on them. Whatever your circumstances is, there's no judgment here. You have a pet, whatever age, and they are not behaving as you would like. They're pooping in the house. And if the cats are pooping in the house, but outside the box, that's still a problem. Feces of anybody's is not healthy to be around. Horse and animals that eat vegetables only, we can use that for manure to make our plants grow, but we don't want it in our house. So what I'm talking about today is going to be really, really simple. I hope I'm going to keep it really simple. And Dr. JACALYN, you keep me on that. We'll keep it really simple. When you're dealing with a carnivore, and dogs are really great at being omnivores. They can eat fruits, vegetables, and cats are carnivores. But let's just stick to the dog and cats, and you can extrapolate for the other ones. They are very driven by, Dr. JACALYN, do you know what an animal is driven by? What is their one part of their senses? Touch, fur, scent, smell, eyes. What is their number one?
Scent. And
taste.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Taste.
Okay.
Scent and taste will be right in there, but they're going to smell something down, and they're going to quantify it when they touch it with their tongue. They're going to touch it and say, okay, this is good, this is yummy, this is gross. Their nose will tell them a great deal. There's no discounting. So their mouth and their nose are going to be completely in harmony of figuring out, what is this? Can I eat it? Am I frightened of it? Because their eyes are going to tell them they're not. So when you are training, you must understand what that pet's dominant instinctual reaction is going to come from their nose, their eyes, or mouth. So in fear, they're going to use their nails of their paws and they're going to use their teeth. That's a fear response. You're going to get those from those two limbs, those body parts. When you're training, you want their mind. So what I'm talking about is go after their nose and their tongue. And what that means is if I get their nose involved, something that smells either bad or good, whatever, it's really strong or really wonderful, wonderful's better, that's where we're headed for, and or they get their nose involved and go, oh, that smells so yummy, and they salivate or whatever, like especially in a St. Bernard, guess what their mind is doing? Focused on the person or where the food is. So let's say I have a little pate, little liver, a piece of bologna, and I mean a piece. We're not feeding them. This is not nutrition. This is, you get the oil on your hands, you whiff it by their nose, and what's the first thing your dog does? What is it, Jacqueline?
Pays attention.
Yeah, looks at you and goes, oh, what? Your whole focus. And that's where you start with training. I want you to get this one point is if you want to train any of your animals, they better be paying attention. If they're not, you're creating a conflict that doesn't need to be. If they're not looking, listening, smelling what you're doing, which means you do it with joy, you do it with balance, you do it when you're having a good day. You could do it when you have fresh liver, if that's what you need. Something on your hand that is yummy, yummy smelling. So any of the pates, any of the livers, any of the dog food, moist is easier. Dry dog food, it's okay, but it's a process to eat. So what I'm trying to say is very, very first thing is, if you don't have their attention, I don't want to see everybody going and pushing their butt down on the ground. That they just think you're weird. But if you get their head, okay, I'm going to use my little old cell phone here. So if you get, camera, there we go. If you get their head up, not down, not looking at the floor or whatever, but up, because you're holding the liver, a piece of tuna juice is on your hand, and they're looking at you, it's easy to push take the scent a little back. And what happens to their butt? Do you know what happens to their butt, Dr. Jacqueline? As you, it goes down to the ground.
Down, yeah, it goes further. Yeah,
exactly. So guess what you just got accomplished? Sit.
Nothing. Oh, sit. Okay, sit. Okay, you're right.
There you go. This again, I want to really just take it apart to simple parts. So you get this little smell on your hands, then you don't have to hold anything like, my pretend dog, I have to hold it. So you get that scent on your hands. They follow it. So I'm the dog and I go up and I go up and I go up and I go, and I put my butt down because they're not going to back up necessarily. Now, some dogs will. Okay. This is not all for everybody, but what it tends to be is if you start to take the scent over their head, instead of them moving backwards, they'll probably sit down. So what you're going to do is, that's the great time to let them lick your hands or have a little bit of a taste, and there's a reward. Because eventually we're going to remove the food and it's just going to be praise. It's going to be petting, joy, happy, doing something as a team. When you're working with a dog, they're a pack member. You're supposed to be the pack leader, but they're a pack member. So what does a pack want to do? Whatever the leader wants to do. They want to be excited. But when you're the leader, you need to lead with balance, energy, equal attention, none of this favoritism stuff. Yes, we can all have one day that we love one pet, one or the other because they pooped on the carpet or something. But what I hate to see is, even I've seen this in children, where a parent will say, well, that my son is just really difficult and I like my daughter better. And of course they don't know. Yes, they know. Your dogs know. Everybody knows. It's not a perfect world. We all have bad days. What I'm hoping is that you'll love your animals and accept your animals for who they are. Now, many of you have heard that I now have 3 cats, all rescues, all adopted from different situations. I never planned to do this. Our 3rd cat came from a family that rescued her. She's wicked smart. She was very young, so she was very, very, very active, and they had no idea how to handle her. So they asked us to take care of her while they figured it out. And of course, that was 2 years later. And we have her, and she's the perfect cat for us and our other 2. But we wouldn't have known that. To me, 3 cats is a lot to take on. I need to know that I can spend enough time with each one of them, quality time. And some days that's not possible, but it's overall. So know what you're getting is my point. Whatever pet, if you get a parrot, I got a sun conure, and as soon as she knew I was awake, she was screaming throughout the house. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? If she couldn't see me. My girls never, ever got to sleep in after that point. Know what pet you're getting. So look how simple it is to just think, okay, I've got a dog. They love to smell everything. And I'm going to get this liver and I'm going to teach him sit. When the concept is understood, take away the food as soon as you can and have it be praise. Pet them, love them, scratch them behind the ear, all that great positive energy. Like, oh, you're so terrific. We're going to do this great. And then randomly, when you go for your walks with the dogs, ask them to sit. Now, for me, I was taught hand signals also because I did agility. And if you don't know what agility is, running up A-frames, and I've told that story, and through hoops and tunnels, you can have call signals, but you have to have hand signals also, because sometimes you're not going to be in the place to not have a hand signal to go with it. This is what I'm saying about training your animal. So right now we've got sit. Now you want stay. I can't tell you how much it will save an animal's life, specifically ones that run into traffic. If your dog goes running out of the house to greet whoever's driving up or whatever, I cannot tell you how many stories of broken legs, caught under the car, and other horrible stories of life ending because their animal ran out of the house into the street to see whoever was driving up. They don't understand tires and cars. So how do you prevent that? You need to teach a sit stay. So you've got their nose involved, you've got them sitting, and now you want to start to walk away. And every time he or she gets their butt off the ground, you stop and say, no, no, because this is the game for them. Remember, you're going to keep it happy. You're going to keep it positive. You're going to have all this yummy liver treat. Again, treat, not food. A little on your hands goes a long way. If they are crazy about cat food, great. Put a little cat food on your hand. But it's not food. It's a training tool to get the mind to pay attention to you. Because what you're going to get when you get rid of the food, what do you go to? Dr. Jacalyn, do you know what you go to after you've figured that the training concept, I've let you lick the liver juice off my fingers, the beef jerky, that takes a little bit longer if it's dry. But now I feel like, okay, we're done with the food. What is the positive? Why will an animal keep doing it for you?
If you keep reinforcing the behavior and saying, good boy, good girl, good.
Positive reinforcement. Did you everybody hear that? Dr. Jacalyn said it. Good boy, good girl. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, you're so good. Whatever. You need to get to a point where you're together teaching a concept. You're a little bit apart where you can still pet them, praise them vocally, and they still Stand up when you have asked. Come, 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 come. And it needs to go to, it doesn't need anything but that you and I are working together. With dogs, this is easy. Cats, they're going to make you work for it really hard, but it can be done. And you're building that relationship saying, no matter where I am, this relationship, I need to be alpha. You need to know that I've got your back. I've got your food. I've got the love. And that relationship follows with it. And so does the training. When you come in with love and patience, and this is true in a marriage, this is true in a business situation, a little more professional. These techniques, now I don't want you to take liver to work and see if the boss will walk towards you. Okay.
You might be your last day.
It's not that kind of training. Let's do another one for work. But it should be this happy. It should be this joy. If it becomes a chore, if you find yourself getting angry, mad, sad, glad, whatever negative feelings, and you cannot move yourself out of it, because first and foremost, just stop. Just stop. There's just too much going on, and come back at it when you're ready.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Because I think, and we have a comment, by the way, so let me just show the comment from one of our team members, Maria Eduardo, our new team member, elevated listener. Maria, meet Aminah. Aminah, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Thanks for being here. Okay, so I have seen in the course of my life training where people will use a can and fill it with coins and shake it violently at the animal when the animal's not doing what it is they want. I've also seen where people will have the
show collar.
And also the lead, and they'll step on the lead so that the dog can't get up, and they punish. They use negative reinforcement. And just like it doesn't work with humans, I don't believe it works with animals, but you're the expert. What do you have to say?
Well, I want to put a mirror to what you said is so essentially important. If you want a relationship built on authoritarian, I'm the king, I'm the queen, and it's my way or the highway, I would highly suggest that you get a military dog that's already trained looking for a home, because they're built for it. But if you want a genuine, loving partner in life, then you train with compassion. You train with jovialness. You train with love. Am I saying you're going to be flippant and laughing all the time? No, but when they really do something weird, you can laugh. But you're going to do it with consistency, consistency, consistency. This is what I need you to do. I had to do this with my shepherds when we were up to 2, because as soon as I opened the gate, they were running out to the front lawn thinking this is a free-for-all, and I lived on a busy street. This is a recipe for disaster. Somebody could die, literally, and I might have to watch it. That would break my heart, and I'd feel terrible. So let's be preemptive. There are times where the rules are finite. Running out in the street is a finite. You cannot go past this. You can have a strong no. Does the way I say that seem like there's any wiggle room to that? Dr. Jacalyn, did it feel like I threatened you and I said no?
I mean, okay.
But it also didn't sound like I threatened you with corporal punishment. Yes?
Correct.
So there's a difference between firmness and a bully. If you want to be a bully, I'm not the advisor for you. If you want to have a team effort with a pack animal, those are the dogs, then you're going to be firm and kind. There are a million coaches out there on a million different topics. And the ones that you'll truly see successful are the ones that say, let's do it together. Let's build a business. Let's open a store. Let's, whatever there is. In the military, you'll see sergeants and up that are cruel and mean, and their team is cruel and mean, at least 50%. But the ones that work alongside you and actually jog the 6 miles with you, not maybe every day, because he probably does it like, or she or he does it 10 times. But walk the path you want the outcome from. If you want a loving partner in your relationship, why wouldn't you train with love and compassion, trying to save their life? Because that's what training truly does. It gets them to drop something when they get something in their mouth. I had this. I got one of my pets went over, we were in a park. I thought I'd looked all around. That's not possible in a park. And he picked up something. And I literally put my hand in the mouth of my shepherd, swept his entire mouth to dig that out before he swallowed it. And it was good because it was gum. Gum is not digestible, and definitely not for a dog. I would have ended up in the vet's getting that dug out. But because I am secure in putting my hand entirely in my dog's mouth, there's a technique. You're going to hold the top up. It pops their mouth open. You're going to do the sweep. These are what trainers teach. These are simple things that you can learn through Parks and Rec, through your local pet store, through Meetup. There's a million places that you can look for a trainer. But what I really want to stress is it's not about you. Where I have seen so many pet owners go wrong a lot of times with their relationship with their pets, it's because mine is going to be the best. Mine is going to be the most beautiful. Mine is going to be the most obedient. And I'm going to prance around. Everybody's going to see I'm wonderful. Whose relationship are you in? This is not a team. This is somebody who needs a big giant dog or a big, bull mastiff. And I'm always like, what's wrong here? Bull mastiffs are magnificent dogs. And it's really true, gentle giants. They really are. They can sit on you. You can't do nothing about it. They're just like nightmares. So wouldn't you want a Saint Bernard or any of the really large dogs? They're, upward over 100 pounds. You might as well have a small horse. You don't want the horse to sit on you either. And do it with compassion, because you'll laugh more, especially when they do goofy things. I don't know if your dogs ever did goofy things. They were awfully beautiful, but my shepherds did goofy things, just absolutely goofy things. And if you've ever seen them chase the sprinkler, the one that goes straight out like I live near a golf course, and the sprinkler would, and they go to bite it, and because they're going to attack this noisy thing that is getting them, they have more fun biting the water. I mean, it's hours and hours, and I didn't have to take them for a walk anywhere. So if you're not capable of taking for a walk, look how simple it is. If you can throw a ball and you have the space to throw a ball, and your cum is 100%. So when I adopted my first shepherd, he had been dumped in a backyard, purebred. Found the breeder. She was livid. This dog cost $900 as a puppy. And they dumped it and left. They literally abandoned the house. That's how we bought the house, in this puppy. And so he was barely a year when we got him. So he didn't know nothing. He knew nothing. He'd have been this little wild thing. So what I did is I went to the hardware store. I got a lot of wood. I don't have long enough arms for a lot of wood. It was like 100 yards. So what I did is I wrapped it around my arm, and so it would come out, and it was on a spool, so I could drop the whole thing. It just held over here. And then I would, little by little, say, okay, go get that. And we'd go afoot. Remember, he's tied on this rope. And then we'd go a little farther. And then every time he came back, I'd get so excited. Oh, you're so wonderful. And in the beginning, I used food to say, this is how wonderful this is. His nose, his heart, he was like, oh, she's going to come. But I don't want him to have that much crap, dog food, soft dog food, or liver. And at some point, he comes back for me. He comes back because I asked. He comes back because these two little girls asked. Remember, my children were very young. They were, what, 6 and 5 at the time of this shepherd. So they were the same height as he was. So I had to make sure that this dog that had never been trained and was big enough to, even if he was standing on all fours, he was bigger than they were. And I couldn't ever leave them in the yard. And I never did. For a year and a half, I never, ever, ever left them. And then I moved to the window, patio window, and worked from the table so I could see them. I don't ever recommend you leaving a big dog and children ever, because sadly, many children, regardless how much you teach them, will pull a tail, innocently or not, pull an ear, lay on them wrong, and the dog keeps saying, no, don't do that. No, I don't like it. No, don't do it, until they end up biting that child to say, I don't like that. And I've seen some very cruel things happen to animals because a pet stood their ground. And then they're taken off to the vet and saying, no, they bit my child. I always want to say is, what'd your child do? I'm not saying it justifies anybody, but would you put your spouse down if they, I don't know, spent all your money, your joint money out of your checking account? No, I think it's still illegal, but an animal's life matters. And you need to look at the copability, the trainability, and start with these really simple trust exercises. Get them to look at you, get them to come, get them to be a sit stay. If you don't know what a sit stay is, it's where you get the animal, we're talking dogs still, sit, stay, you walk away and they don't move at all until you say, okay, come on. And then you make a big deal when you're teaching it. And it's eventually the liver, the peanut butter, whatever you're baiting them with to teach the concept, it all goes away. And all that's left is your wonderful, excited voice. You're happy to see them, because with dogs specifically, they are thrilled to be loved and cheered and do the happy dance, whatever that is. That's enough. It doesn't always have to be food. Yes, there's animals that are very food driven. So you have to be really, really careful training them with food. Maybe those are the animals you never introduce food to, but you might not know that they're food driven until you try using the food and all they want is the food. Again, this is a wide breadth of information. I want you to find that professional when you need that help at home to get somebody either to come and help you. What I don't encourage at all is for you to hire a trainer. The trainer takes your dog and trains it and brings it back. Dr. JACALYN, have you any idea why that might not be a good idea?
I think so, because now the dog is going to be responding to that person and not you.
Well, yeah, and even worse, if you are so busy that you cannot train and participate with your own dog, you probably shouldn't have a dog. And also, what you said, spot on. If your dog doesn't recognize you as the alpha, or you're just kind of the co-alpha, nobody wants a co-alpha unless it's your spouse, the human one. You can have one of those. Or your children should be in that hierarchy, believe it or not. The dog should be down here in the pack. So it should be mom and dad, kids, pets, okay? As they go from there. Does that mean we love them less? No. Does that mean we respect them less? No. But priorities still need to be, the people need to take care of that with love, with acceptance. So if you're not going to show up for the training, how do you follow through? How do you make that bond with all of those? And you can get easy tips, just like I'm talking about, that you can do on your own, and you can try. Are we perfect? No. And you're going to trip, fall, whatever. And it's part of our learning curve. There's bigger things in the world, bigger energies in the world that we're like, oh, I don't know about you, Dr. Jacalyn, but I have gone through learning things and I'm just like, why is this happening? And then whatever amount of time later, I'm like, oh, my bad. I needed to learn that. And I always slow on the uptake. So if you're going to, for example, learn to drive a car and you just keep hitting the curb and hitting the curb and hitting the curb when you try to pull into the driveway or whatever, or you can't parallel park. I know a lot of people who can't parallel park. And it's about our depth perception or something on absolutely with a lot of people. But does that mean you never do it? Maybe. Give that grace to yourself. But for me, I live near San Francisco. Parallel parking is kind of essential. There's not a lot of parking when you go to the big cities. You need to know how to get into those little spaces and or get out of them. Luckily, I grew up camping with a trailer and I was able to help my dad back up to a teeny tiny little ball. And we had to get that car perfect so that when he came, he dropped it down in the ball in the trailer and it was hooked up to the car. It was a wonderful learning exercise. Find those for yourself. Go and learn to putt miniature golf and the little balls into the little holes or whatever. You will find your dexterity, your vision will grow with those activities. You don't know until you try to learn and get your body to do something different. I am right hand dominant. I didn't know about being ambidextrous. That wasn't a thing. But when I was a kid, probably a young teenager, one of my teachers said, well, I didn't know you're left-handed. I said, I'm not left-handed. What are you talking about? She said, well, why are you cutting something with your left hand? I said, I don't know. I just picked it up. So when I injured my right hand and I was in a cast for a long time, I was not easily, but I was able to use my left hand because I had in the past. Now, I'm very good at it now, and I actually can write with my left hand because I've had problems with my hands for years now. I'm saying open your mind to what you think you cannot do and use it as a positive challenge to say, okay, I'm having a really rough relationship with my pet. I just don't know what to do. There's always great trainers. If you don't run into one, keep looking. Go to the internet. There's YouTube. There's my show, and I give as many free tips as possible. A sit-stay. Let me really, really emphasize this. If you get your pets to sit and stay, they will save their life someday. It's the same with your kids. Because I know my children got to see me do this with the dog, and they are really good. As if my tone of my voice changes, and I'm like, no, stay. That means I can see something is coming up and in the way, and they at least say, oh, wait a minute. Mom doesn't usually say that, so let me stop. Think about it. And you have to have that kind of credibility. Don't use it lightly. Don't use it for everything. Don't use it for trivia. Make it fun when you're learning. And then check in. Let's say you haven't used it in 3 or 4 months. Create a scenario there. You need to practice it so that it's constantly in your pet's mind that this is possible. This is possible. And again, for me, I got a long rope. Got it at the hardware store. Put little hooks, little clips on it on both sides and a little loop. And off he went, 100 feet. And every once in a while, I'd pull the rope and I'd go, zoop. Eventually, it was just a tug. I said, come here. And then he came back and I give him all this love and he walked away. Who doesn't want to come for hugs and loves and brushing? And then they go and they get to go and play. That's what you do. Show love.
That's beautiful. It's all positive
Exactly.
reinforcement. That's what we needed as people. Our animals need it. It's not that hard to do, but
well, it's the same thing with the honeybee. If you like to eat, my platform, my whole MAGA here, stop killing them. Wasps, I know, are I don't know what they're for, but they're here. So we'll just ignore them. But honeybees feed us. And yet people are killing them and spraying Raid and all of these terrible chemicals. It's the same thing with dogs and animal training. You want your hamster to play on the wheel correctly or whatever, then help him. Have your little fingers walk around there. Just look at how creative you could come in with your own techniques. I just happen to come from a creative family. I mean, if you met my uncle, my mom's brother, now he's long passed, but he was an artist that did the Rose Parade. He was hired for 30, 40 years of his life. He would show us the drawings by these corporations to draw and design the floats. I didn't put them together. And he worked in Asia. He loved Asia. And I always went, oh, I could never do that. But I never practiced. I never had the passion. My art comes, yes, from my mother and her family. But my art is seeing past the regular dog cat scenario. I can see the fun. I can see the flower. I can create something out of this piece of paper that you think, oh, it's great for notes. But no, if you crinkle this all up, let's see, is this important? Yes. You crinkle this all up, and I will bet you how many cats will come into this room right now just so they can experience this. And there she is.
I love it.
It's that simple. But you know what their favorite one is? Okay, I'm going to stand up and be rude on the live camera, but this is worth it. Is thermal receipts. Of course, this is Costco, but the thermal receipts. We still get tons of them. And the best thing to do is this. If you can get your pet trained to the noise of the fun, do you see how much joy I find in telling you this? And
absolutely.
I just heard the feet drop off the couch. Remember, I have 3.
She's a good trainer, folks. What can we say?
I know. And it's free because Costco keeps giving these receipts. And so they get really long, get really short. And I'll tell you, when we move, because we have moved a couple of times, we find them everywhere. In every crevice, but watch this. Go like this. And there they go. You never need to teach your cat. Come, just get a receipt, get them trained to the receipts. And remember, you want to keep them off the couch and the cabinets. Don't put anything up there that looks exciting. And yes, we have that conversation all the time. But I put up things that are not stable. So the cats, when they jump up there, if I don't have that problem anymore, but once in a while, somebody will try it, see if anything's changed. The places I don't want them, I will put something that's slippery, like a placemat or a napkin or something that moves, that when they go up to that surface, it's not stable. Does everyone understand? A cat wants to jump up and down on something they know is not going to run away at forever. They are protecting themselves from falling, hurting, broken limbs, whatever. Animals want to go places they understand. If you're training in a new place to go to a new place with new smells, try to go ahead of time. Get them used to it. Come back. Go ahead again. Let the smells become normal. If you're about to travel for the first time, give a lot of time to be in the car, in the carrier. Like you just go to the grocery store, put them in the carrier for the first time. Whatever it is, with lots of their lovey blankets or pillow or toy that they love at the house. Make it theirs. But don't expect, now it happens, don't expect that you're going to travel with your animal for the very first time and you have to shove them into a cat carrier. Now again, this happens, but right now, if you aren't traveling, but you think you might ever need to take them to a vet or something, put the cat carrier, put the dog carrier in the living room, in your bedroom, let them sleep in it, bring their favorite blanket, let it become a place of positivity. So when the emergency happens, when there's a fire, a flood, whatever, here in California, an earthquake, and we need to get out fast, we need to know that we can grab those cats, put them in their carriers, and get going. Time is going to be of the essence. So what I'm talking about, this simple, fun training stuff, saves lives. If you can get a dog to stop on the time you say, stop, and they turn around and look at you, if that's all you get, not even just a sit stay, great. Because if they're going to run out in traffic, you need a recall without a rope. You need a recall that only your voice is what they need to hear. They go, oh, mom, dad, what? And off of it, they come back. Saving lives is a trained animal can be saved because they trust you, but you've got to earn it.
Trust you got to put in the work. You've got to do the work and
put in the work
and be heart-centric the way you're leading.
And your animals will thrive because everybody likes a home that has a system. You know, the dishwasher works and the sink works and the stove works. Because if any of those don't work, it's really a pain in the butt. Right?
Yes.
And I'm just talking about appliances.
I know. Oh my goodness. You've covered so many fabulous areas. I think we could continue on a second episode with this. How do people get in touch with you, and who would you like to contact you? And Maria, I hope that you two will connect on LinkedIn. Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. bridgingworlds.us, BRIDGINGWORLDS. I do a lot on social media, Facebook and LinkedIn specifically, to share a lot of this. But Dr. Jacalyn and I really here on USA Global TV are going through it, and you get to hear my voice and what I'm actually trying to get across. Positive teaching, positive ways to get past a lot of things, losing your pet, and all types of topics. Please reach out to me. You can hire me for an hour or two, whatever. I do house calls. I don't do very many because, as you can see, I can teach digitally just fine from wherever you are to wherever I am.
Fantastic. Thank you, my dear friend. I appreciate all this fabulous content that you shared with us today, and I wish you a beautiful weekend. I'll see you next week. Thank you. All right, bye for now.
Bye.
And thank you to Maria for engaging with us. Please do reach out to Pet Psychic Aminah. She is on LinkedIn as well. Connect. Why not? She's giving you this amazing information. And that's what our platform is about. It's really about connecting people, providing education, information, and inspiration. All right, that concludes our show for the day. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here and for supporting the work that we do. And especially my ask is that you support our team members. Our team members come forward and spend their time and energy providing education. Please do reach out to them. I really would appreciate it. Okay, 2 quick announcements. I'm having a holiday book sale. Yay! My 3rd book is coming out next Wednesday. We've got a big book show celebration. The book is The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. And my 2 other books are already available. They are all 30% off. I just want to make it known that the new book is only available as a pre-order for The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The paperback and the hardback will be available on the 14th. And of course, I would love to have my co-author, Mariska Duprier, be able to have #1 Amazon bestseller status. I have it. I'd like to have it again. And that means we need as many sales as possible within 24 hours. So The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor is $1.99 right now for the pre-order of that. And lastly, I just want to mention that we're having our anniversary celebration on January 15th. Pet Psychic Aminah will be in the house. Yay! The event is actually sold out, but we have 1 opening. Someone had to drop out. So if you'd like to join us, we would love to have you. You get to have 15 minutes where you're presenting about you and your work or whatever you want to talk about. Do join us. Go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com/book your session. And we would love to have you as part of our celebration. Thank you so much. May you have a beautiful weekend. Happy holidays. We'll be back on Monday. If you're on our YouTube channel, please do subscribe, USA Global TV and Radio. Bye for now.